Hi, my name is Sean Sands. I'm the digital marketing expert and web content at FindLaw, and I want to talk to you today about my favorite thing, content. So, it's possible when I just said the word content that you may have immediately drawn an idea in your head, and I want you to get rid of that idea as quickly as possible. And that's a picture of a bunch of words in the middle of a page. And while that's a kind of content, I'm talking about content with a capital C and maybe an exclamation point right after it. Here's the thing. If it conveys information, it's content. That can, as it turns out, mean a lot of different things. It could be everything from video and podcasts to images and backgrounds, links, forms, buttons, color choices, fonts. There are all kinds of things that convey information on a site, and if you only focus on the body copy, you're missing a huge opportunity. So, when you get home later, I want you to go to a mirror, I want you to really look at yourself dead in the eyes, and I want you to say, content is not just body copy. Here's the thing. Content is how you motivate people. It's how you get people to act. It can make a person feel something. It can educate them. It can create an emotional response. It can change minds. And for businesses, that's how you drive people to call you or buy your product. You can't leave this stuff on the table. To illustrate this, let's try an experiment. I'm going to briefly show you 3 websites. You're only going to have a moment to look at each one, so I want you to think about what your impression of each site is. You really won't have time to read much. It's going to be the other kinds of content that shape your impression. So, how do things like images, color, or layout impact what you think about the site? Do you know who these websites are for? What would make you decide to stay or leave? So, here they come. Just look at them. Think about what your first impression is. Here we go. Okay, so how did you feel about each site? Did you react a little differently to each one? Did you notice the site with the mountains and the lake evoked a very different feel than 3M's very corporate site? Did you notice how it wasn't just the lake and the mountains, but the fact that there was very little interface and very few words on the site that tried to evoke a sense of calm? Did you get the sense that 3M wants you to think of it as a global company by using a picture that hints at a massive scale and subtly curves the images like a globe? Did you get a techy, trendy feel from the color scheme and the layout of The Verge? The web is an incredibly visual place. People will make snap decisions in it. If any of these had been a bunch of blank pages with tons of words in the middle of it, are you likely to have drawn any of the same conclusions? Each of those sites has a clear idea of who it wants to attract and how to make them act. They are thinking from the user up. And to begin to bring this back to an SEO discussion, as we talked about before, that's exactly what users and search engines are looking for. When you make content, you need to know who that content is for and then create stuff that that user wants. From a practical perspective, that can be as simple as things like a menu or prices for a restaurant, the ability to reserve a room for a hotel, show times or tickets for a theater, and where the nearest ATM is for a bank. But search engines also are getting much better at recognizing the use of diverse content, again, with a capital C and maybe that exclamation point, like good images, great layout, structure that appeals to the right user. But, and I can't stress this enough, it all starts with making something that will impact or motivate someone. Never create content just to fill space or just to have something there. Let's look at a not great example. This is from a local, to me, restaurant, and I've hidden the name to protect the mostly innocent. This is a site for a restaurant, and this site, I can assure you from a lot of search, offers no menu or really any information about the food they are likely to serve. I looked a long time, all the way down to digging into the sitemap. It doesn't exist. They do have a banquet menu link, but that provided no useful information. And when I clicked the Read More button, is that really a good motivating thing to write in a button, by the way? I landed on this page. You might notice it's blank. That is not a mistake in my screenshot ability. That's what I actually found. Clearly, this is a site that isn't thinking about who the user is, what they want, or what they're trying to accomplish. Don't make the same mistakes. So, to close it out, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. First, and this should come as no surprise, content is not just body copy. Please don't forget. Next, Never fall into the trap of just adding content for the sake of content. Volume isn't going to motivate search engines to rank you highly just because you have a bunch of words and pictures and videos, if none of them really help a user. Add content because it's good for your customer. Every time you add new information or words, you should be able to answer 2 questions. Who is this for? How does it help them take an action? If you can't answer that, then you probably shouldn't add it. Try the experiment we ran on your own pages, or better yet, get a friend or a family member to try it. You'll bring your own biases to your own 3-second experiment. You'll know what you want people to find and think when they land on a site. You need fresh eyes for this to be successful. Oh, and also, content is not just body copy. My name is Sean Sands. I'm the digital marketing expert in web content at FindLaw. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.